Hello, my name is Heidi Guerrero. I'm the founder of Fine Art Studio. I'm here this afternoon to bring you a class, and we are going to be painting together sunset palms. It's a very easy class, and art is very relaxing in these times of quarantine when you have to stay home, and I hope you enjoy it. We are going to be using the blue color, black, orange, yellow, and white. These are the colors we're gonna be using today. And pretty much, we just have to pinch the We just have to use a cap to pinch it and put your color. We're not gonna use all the color, so we can use like 30% of what you have or half and then save the rest for the next class. The white color, actually, we're just gonna be using like a little bit, like let's say 20 or 15% of this amount, and then you can save the rest. The one we might use a lot is the black one, actually, because it's a silhouette. And from distance in a sunset, you see everything black. So we're gonna use like a 30% of this amount of orange, 30% of this amount of yellow, and that's it for now. We can actually use one of these to measure where we're going to have our horizon. So we are going to start by taking our biggest brush. You have 3 brushes. So now we're gonna take our biggest brush to start, and starting with yellow paint, you load your brush with yellow. We're gonna make a little dot in yellow here, so you can have the mark where your horizon goes. And another dot in the other side, same distance, same height. You load your brush with yellow paint, and we're gonna connect these 2 dots. Your line doesn't have to be like way too perfect. You don't have to worry about that right now. And then we're gonna be doing horizontal strokes back and forth, like up to half of your top part of the background. Let's say like up to here. You can mark it now if you feel comfortable by marking it now. If not, you can just start painting. Starting from the bottom line, long strokes back and forth, using your big brush. pretty much up to this height. We put the brush in the water, rinse it a little bit. I'm gonna need a napkin. I'm gonna grab a little napkin. I dry my brush. And our next color is orange. We load the brush with orange paint. In the first step, we started from the bottom of our sky, of our top part of the background. Now we're gonna start from the top. Starting from the top, long strokes horizontally. If you feel like doing like a different type of stroking, you are welcome to use your creativity. Like if you want to do something like the diagonal instead, you could do it. When you reach the yellow, you don't stop. You can keep going, overlapping the yellow paint until they blend together. The orange and the yellow, they become one. You can actually load with a little more yellow. And so they could blend a little better. And back and forth, up and down. We're gonna put our brush away in the water, and we're gonna leave our paint dry for 2 minutes. You can take a little break, go and sip some water or juice, or grab some cookies. And acrylic paint should take around 3 minutes to dry. We're not gonna let it dry completely for the next step, but we're gonna give around 2 minutes to dry. Yes, I've been teaching art since 2004. I was a high school teacher, and at one point, I always liked art, and I studied 2 years architecture. I used to paint since I was a little kid. Like since I was like maybe 1 year old, I used to grab the crayons and mess up the walls of my house. Yeah. My aunt wanted to kill me. I used to mess her books, notebooks, everything. And since I have use of my memory, I could say that I actually At least since I was 5 years old, I used to like drawing and painting. As a child, I used to volunteer with the nuns. And one of the nuns was very artistic, so I used to spend a lot of time with her. And in the backyard of the house of the nuns, sometimes so I could spend some little times, they used to put a canvas, a setup just like this in the backyard. And I used to paint over there. Then as I grew up, I was interested and I studied a little bit, about theory of the colors and all that. And in 2004, I was a high school teacher. Then the art teacher quit or something happened. I don't remember, but there was no more art teacher. So I offered to take the position to take a couple of hours teaching art too, in the meantime, between my other hours of work. And then my classes got like pretty popular in the school, and Miss Art was pretty popular. And then I decided this is something I see myself doing and I like to do. And I got like the whole school engaged in doing art, and the kids decorating the murals, the bulletin boards, and all that. Eventually, I was working in a gallery in Manhattan, and the art classes became very popular again. It was like maybe 6 years ago. So I asked the owner to let me teach some art classes, and they became pretty popular. I live in the Bronx. I had the studio already in the Bronx where I paint like for my own, like as a hobby. But people on Instagram and Facebook saw me that I was teaching in Manhattan, and they said, oh, they got a little jealous, like, you're from the Bronx. Like, you're supposed to be doing this here, So, and I said, it's totally true, So I opened the studio. I had the studio already, but I used to do all the stuff in there. And I used to paint like as a hobby for myself in there. So I opened it for the public for painting classes. And I've been doing this since 2016 in that studio in the Bronx. It's called Finer Studio. Okay, so we're gonna use our next brush, the medium-sized brush you have. And we're going to grab a little bit of white paint. And you could do a couple of strokes in the middle. You could do it like a circle, or you could just do like highlighting back and forth right in the middle. That's gonna be like your sun, the light of the sun reflected. If you prefer to do it as a circle, you're gonna just draw like half of a circle here. If you prefer to do it like a highlighting, like I was doing first, you can just perfectly leave it like that. It's gonna blend with your yellow paint that is almost dry. That's gonna be pretty much your sun. Something is going on here. We put that brush away in the water. And we clean our first brush. We rinse it in the water and we dry it again with a napkin. And our next color is gonna be blue. We start from your horizon. You can leave like 1 inch from the bottom behind, and you can paint like up to here. Using the same brush, I do not clean the brush this time. I'm gonna grab a little bit of white in the tip of the brush and like right under my sun, I'm gonna do a little like the reflection of the water under the sun, using white and blending it with the blue. You can use a smaller brush if you feel comfortable with a smaller brush. And we start like with longer strokes in the top, right like under the sun. And they get smaller and smaller as you highlight until it gets to be just a little bit down here. We can clean this brush, dry with a napkin, and we can grab a hint of black and mix it well with the blue to make like a darker shade of blue. And with this new shade, we could do some shadows, like starting from the right to the left and starting from the left to the right on both sides. Just random strokes, nothing too serious. Gonna use your brush a little loose for this. And clean the brush one more time. We dry it really well because we're gonna use the black color. We want this color to look really solid and really strong. You can paint your ground and the bottom flat, or you can do like a couple of little mountains. Like going down a little bit and then going up again. If you do this one side, either the left or the right side should be like a little lower than the other one, so it doesn't look too perfect. Actually, these strokes I want to do more horizontal. We've been painting, more vertical. We've been painting more horizontally, but since we want to fake like we have a little grass in the bottom, we could do it more horizontal. And here is when we start using that tiny pointy brush. After you're done painting, your bottom part, like the ground, you can do some really soft, using your brush really loosely, grass, like coming up some grass. You can do a couple of little plants. We draw a little line and then we dab it all around. Dab it all around until you get like a little tiny tree or something like that. We are going to let our paint dry for 2 minutes, and then we're going to draw our palms. Are you excited about it? I'm going to draw 2 palms, but it's your own masterpiece, so you can draw 5 if you want to, 3, 1 if you're lazy to do more than 1. Different sizes. It's up to you. You know what we're going to do? In the meantime, while our ocean dries, we're going to grab, but for this you have to clean the brush really, really well because the black needs to come out of the brush completely. And we dry with a napkin. We're gonna give a second coat to the top, only to the top, orange part of of our background to make the top a little darker. So a little bit more orange. You load your brush like 2 times. Not too much because we only want to darken the top. And that's pretty much it. Put our brush away in the water again. And pretty much like in 2 or 3 minutes, the blue paint in the ocean should be dry. Acrylic paint dries really fast and it's water-based. This one I can tell that is non-toxic. So if someone has an accident, it's not a problem. Do not eat it. That doesn't mean that you should eat it. We load our tiny pointy brush again, and wherever you want your palm like to be the height of your palm, we're gonna mark a little dot there. Like, let's say over here, I want like the tallest palm to be covering like on top of the sun a little bit. And then you can put a little mark on the bottom. You can make like straight lines for the trunk of your palm, but you can also make it a little bendy to make it seem like the wind. It's windy in there. So I'm gonna make mine a little curvy. I connect the 2 dots to mark my sketch on where my palm is gonna be. And then after you have your sketch, then you can make your trunk a little thicker in the bottom. So you start building the trunk a little bit. We can make a smaller one in this side. Okay, let's say like right here. We can mark our dot. And another one here. Once again, I make it a little curvy. And thicker in the bottom. If you want to, it's not necessary, but if you want to give a little more dimension to this tree, you can, and using the same brush without cleaning the brush or anything, I put a hint of white in the tip of the brush, and I'm going to highlight my tree a little bit with white. And for the palms, we're gonna draw first our arches. Like we can do one bending this way towards the right side. You can do 4 or 5 palms, even 6 if you feel like it. 2 on the other side. And you could do like a small one in the top. I'm gonna do the same thing in this side. Smaller these ones. These ones are smaller because this one is a smaller palm tree. This one I could do. This one I could do facing this way. Then we're gonna build our palms in the same direction of the arch that you just made. The ones that are going bending towards the left, your palms are gonna be diagonal bending towards the left. I like thicker palms, but you could do skinnier ones. You could do like coconut palms. You could do like a little coconut here on the side. Same thing this side. And that's pretty much your palm sunset. Once it dries, especially the bottom, you can sign your painting. You can put your initials. I would use like a contrasting color, either white or blue, on the black grass over here, right or left bottom part of your painting. And this is pretty much it. I hope you like it.